UFC Nashville. If you are looking for bets or parlays, you have come to the right place. How we doing, everybody? My name is Young Pasty, and I'm here today to give you all of my official bets for UFC Nashville. I got 5 bangers coming your way, okay? And then everyone's favorite section, the parlay section. Yeah, I got tons of parlays for you guys to pick and choose from. Now, as we always do, we have to recap last time, which is UFC 317. I'll pull the results up here right now. And we end the card on a positive note, plus 0.533 units, a half a unit up, okay? Hey, I will take a profit, even though it's little. I will take a profit any day because one person kind of screwed us, okay? Felipe Lima really put on a crap performance and screwed over bet number 2 and bet number 6 here. But Jose Delgado comes through for us easy, cashes bet number 1. The 3-pick parlay of the week cashes once again, okay? Joshua Van, one of my favorite fighters, cashes for us. I threw an extra unit on it just because, you know what I mean? And that's what, actually ended up putting us in a positive note. We add the Renato Moicano play. Bad added play. At least it was only half a unit. And then the Moose fight gets canceled. And now, you guys see the Moose. I'm referring to Jackson McVeigh here. He's going up against Bruno Ferreira. So, man, he went from fighting Chris Ewart to Bruno Ferreira. Yeah, that's a tough jump up there. So, I'll be rooting for my boy the Moose, but I don't know how well he's going to be doing in that fight. Nevertheless, that's cards away. We are focused on UFC Nashville, okay? So let's get to it. But before we begin, if you guys have not, please click that subscribe button. We are on the road to 300 subscribers, so I really appreciate your support. Secondly, Patreon is free. Links in the description. That's where I put all my bets out when I place them. You get the odds when they're good because, usually they sway in the opposite way. So, but yeah, let's get into it, guys. All the official bets for UFC Nashville. Now, we sort these in confidence. So bet number 1 is always my most confident play of the week. And then it moves on down from there. So let's get into it. Bet number 1 for UFC Nashville. We are going with Steve Garcia. Minus 145. We are putting 2.25 units on it. It's currently sitting at minus 125. One of the few times here where I'm not ahead of the odds here. But I'm not mad with my number at minus 145 because Steve Garcia, man, dude's got the death touch. Okay, going up against Calvin Kattar, who, honestly, he's getting older. Bad momentum, coming off 4 losses in a row. And, yes, it's against better competition, right? But he's 37 now. And that's an issue in this class here. You know what I mean? And Steve Garcia, even though he's found himself in suspect spots here and there in fights, which, I actually kind of like. He gets out of them and comes out with a KO every single time. He has 5 KOs in a row. So he has good kicks, good volume. He's aggressive. He's a killer. He smells blood in the water, okay? He's like a freaking shark in the water. He smells blood. He comes up and he eats you, okay? He is a finisher. Calvin Kattar never been KO'd before. He just really hasn't looked the same since that ACL injury. So, honestly, again, I'm not mad at getting Garcia at minus 145. He's sitting at minus 125. That is a solid number. I'm baffled by the odds. I thought he would have been a minus 200 by now, quite honestly. So, Steve Garcia, he will be knocking Calvin Kattar out. Okay? Mark my words. So, minus 145, 2.25 units. That is my most confident play of the week. Let's go. Moving on to bet number 2. Got a little 2-pick parlay. We got Morgan, Charriere, and Chris Curtis. Minus 123. We are putting 1 unit on it. 2 guys I am confident in that are going to pull out the win. Now, Charriere, Morgan Charriere, going up against Nate the Train, who, and a lot of these fighters here are old, or at least old in UFC terms, right? 37 now. Been through it all, took a lot of damage, and, Nate the Train's a dog, and he's tough, right? And, if you wilt or succumb to his pressure, you'll get folded, and Nate the Train will, he'll bully you and take over. But I really don't see him winning this fight. The only chance I see is maybe him getting a comeback. He's going to constantly move forward, and Morgan Charriere, good movement, elusive striker, great footwork, mixes in the wrestling. He's younger, he's probably more powerful, and he can go 3 rounds. I don't have an issue with that. So I think Morgan takes it on the scorecards, and then Chris Curtis. He's going up against Max Griffin, right? 39 years old, pushing 40. Chris Curtis is up there too at 37, but Chris Curtis is the better striker. He carries more power. He has better boxing. He has nice head movement, right? This is going to be a striking match all throughout this fight. Okay, these guys aren't going to wrestle. But I just think he's going to have the bigger moments in the fight. Yeah, Griffin's going to hit him, right? They're both going to get good shots on each other, but I think he's going to have the bigger moments. He's going to pour on more volume and ultimately get the win, probably at 29-28. So Morgan Charriere, Chris Curtis, minus 123. We are putting 1 unit on it. That is bet number 2. Moving on to bet number 3. My 3-pick parlay of the week. If you guys are new around here, we find 3 good legs. We put them all together to get a good number. So, guys, this 3-pick parlay of the week, I'm loving it. So, each leg number 1, we have Bonfim, money line. Next, we have the under 2.5 rounds on the Lewis versus Teixeira fight. And then lastly, we have the over 1.5 rounds on the Chris Curtis versus Griffin fight. Minus 115, we are putting 2 units on it. Yeah, we're doing a little 2-unit slapper for bet number 3 this week. We usually only put, maybe 1 unit on it or, enough to win 1 unit. But yeah, we're throwing 2 units on it this week. I feel really good about it. Now, Gabriel Bonfim going up against Wonder Boy, who is 42 years old, guys. And yeah, look, he did look dang good in the Buckley fight until, he didn't. But Bonfim, much younger, showing improvements in his fights. He's probably just going to take Wonder Boy down. Hold him down on the ground, get top control. I don't think Wonder Boy is, dumb or stupid, so I don't think he's going to get submitted at all. I believe this fight's going to decision. Bonfim will get the better moments, get the better takedowns, get the only takedowns. I don't see Wonder Boy taking him down. Wonder Boy's a point fighter, okay? Stephen Thompson's a point fighter at this point at 42 years old. He really don't have knockout power. He's just trying to get points on the scorecard, and you win minutes, you know what I mean? So I think Gabriel Bonfim has been, again, showing improvements in every single fight. I like what he has to bring. So next, the under 2.5 rounds on the Derrick Lewis versus Tallison Teixeira fight. Look, we're taking under 2.5 because I think this fight might go into the second round. Okay, I really think it might get a late second round KO. I mean, obviously the fight's not going to go the distance. I don't think it's going to reach round 3 at all. But we're taking a step up from under 1.5 to under 2.5 as kind of a little safety net. You know what I mean? Because maybe Teixeira and Lewis kind of feel each other out in the first round, then really bring in the second round. Knowing that it's a 5-round fight. So, and then lastly, the over 1.5. in the Chris Curtis versus Max Griffin fight. I mean, these guys, like their last 8 or 9 fights, both of them, not 8 or 9, like 4 or 5, have all gone to decision. And yeah, Chris Curtis got technically knocked out by Kopylov. I mean, the ref really could have just let the bell ring. You know what I mean? That was a stupid KO. But anywho, yeah. I mean, this fight's bound to go the distance. These guys are pretty old. I don't see either of them finishing each other. So the over 1.5, we're at least getting not the over 2.5. Maybe there's a late 3rd round finish. You never know, but I don't anticipate that. But we'll take the over 1.5 just to be safe. Put all 3 legs together. Minus 115. We are putting 2 units on it. Yeah, I feel good about the 3-pick parlay of the week this week. So moving on to bet number 4. We got Chidi Bang Bang. Chidi Njokuani. Minus 148. We are putting 1 unit on it. He's going up against Jake Matthews, and honestly, Chidi's just more technically sound. He has decent takedown defense, so I don't think Matthews is going to be taking him down. He has really great distance management, the range and the length. He's really long and lanky, right? It's going to be a really good advantage for him in the octagon. And just like overall, he's a better fighter, in my opinion, than Jake Matthews, so... Yeah, the technical aspect of Chidi's fighting, I just think it's going to be too much for Matthews. He's going to get pieced up for range, to be honest with you. So, and I like Jake Matthews, right? And I saw him as an underdog initially, and I was like, ooh. But I've kind of been counting Chidi out. Chidi's low-key pretty dang good, especially at this weight class too. So even though the weight cut is terrible for him, he looks dang good at this weight class. So I'm going to take Chidi minus 148. We are putting 1 unit on it. That is bet number 4. Moving on to bet number 5. We have Fatima Kline inside the distance. 0.75 units at minus 110. I mean, look, this girl is a huge favorite for a reason, okay? And Melissa Martinez, like the competition she's faced and the performances she's put on, not so hot in the UFC, to be honest with you. Like, she was getting pieced up and rocked by Elise Reed, right? And that's happening from Elise Reed, who's, okay, but not really that good. I mean, now put Fatima Kline in the mix, man. She has a lot more power than Elise Reed. She has better takedowns than Elise Reed. She has a better finishing ability than anybody that Melissa Martinez has faced. So how do I see this fight playing out? Dude, she's going to take Martinez to the ground and either KO or sub her, right? I'm leaning KO, but inside the distance covers both for us, right? So, because she's, really good at jiu-jitsu. I mean, trained now silver BJJ, you know what I mean? Like, she's dang good on the mat. However, she can really, lay down some ground and pound too. So that's why I kind of like the inside the distance. Covers us on both ends. But Kline's gonna put a stamp on this fight, and she's gonna finish the fight with a finish, not go all 3 rounds. So, Kline inside the distance, 0.75 units at minus 110. Those are the 5 official bets for UFC Nashville. Now, let me take a sip of the Celsius here. And we'll move on to the parlay section. Everyone's favorite section. I got tons of parlays for you guys this week. Now, just to be clear before we get this started, these are not unit plays. These are, fun parlays, okay? Not telling you to go put 1 unit on every single parlay. Right? Like me personally, I put like 0.25 units on every single parlay, and you hopefully come out a winner, you know what I mean? So some of these parlays are long shots, some of them are attainable, you know what I mean? So play what you choose. And lastly, I love all these legs individually, right? So if you see a leg that you like individually, put it in as a single. Or maybe combine it with something else that you like. I'm not telling you to bet these parlays. This is what I put in, okay? So these are the official parlays for UFC Nashville. We sort them by odds, so small odds to big odds. So first, the Fade 40 parlay. Okay, we got Tallison, Bonfim, and Moura, minus 103. Yeah, the Fade 40 club, okay? All these guys and a gal are going up against people who are 40 plus. So they're probably going to get the job done. And yeah, I'm confident in all 3 of them. So minus 103 for Tallison, Bonfim, and Moura. Moving on up. This is the should be violence parlay, okay? Like, this should happen. Petrino KO over Austen Lane, and Tallison KO over Derrick Lewis, plus 126. Now, first off, I was born on January 26, 126. The number's just speaking to me, right? But yeah, this parlay should play out, how it is, how it's stamped right here. Petrino, going up against Austen Lane, dude is chinny as hell. Tallison going up against Derrick Lewis. The fight's going to end up in a KO. Probably going to be on Tallison's side. So, next. This is my confident call parlay. Honestly, this is my favorite parlay of the week, and it's just a 2-legger. Chris Curtis decision. Steve Garcia KO. Plus 476. Honestly, this one right here, this one's money. Okay, that's my favorite parlay of the week. Next, we have the decision parlay. We have Chidi decision, Morgan Charriere decision, Gabriel Bonfim decision. Plus 1,481, almost 15 to 1. Yeah, I think all 3 of those fights there go the distance, and I think all 3 of those guys get their hand raised. So, next, this is the big boy KO parlay. Kennedy KO, Tafa KO, Lewis KO. Plus 1,876, almost 19 to 1. Yeah, the big boys are going to get the finishes here. Kennedy KO, Tafa KO, and then Lewis KO. Yeah, I've been picking Tallison earlier, but Lewis was my official pick. I don't have any official bets on that main event. That's why we're putting him in the parlays. Because Lewis KO or Tallison KO, one of those probably going to hit. So, next. This is the first 3 parlay, okay? The first 3 fights of the night. Let's get all 3 of them right to start the night off good, right? So, first, Fatima Kline KO. Next, Mike Davis sub in high key. Really love that leg. And Kennedy KO. Plus 3,673, almost 37 to 1. So, yeah, the first 3 parlay. We've hit a first 3 parlay a few cards back, so let's hit another one here. And lastly, the biggest one of them all. This is my disgusting cycle parlay. Yes, sir. First, Austen Lane decision. Next, Derrick Lewis KO. Actually attainable. Third, Valter Walker sub. Kind of attainable. What are the odds? Plus 30,837. Ooh-wee. Guys, if we smack this fucking parlay, call me the GOAT, okay? Yeah, those are all the parlays for the week. Got like 6 or 7 of them, right? So again, pick and choose what you want. I like all the legs individually. Let's smack some freaking parlays, okay? Let's go. Now, that's it, guys. Those are the official bets. Those are all the parlays for the week. Just wanted to say thank you for joining me. If you've made it this far, subscribe, okay? Click that subscribe button down there. Appreciate your support. Again, the Patreon's free. Links in the description. Your boy Young Pasty is out. Let's have a good week this week.